next topic we'll discuss about typecasting. How to change one type structure to another type. So we know how to declare the variable and how to initialize the data. For example, where is variable? I initialized value 10. So internally it will be namespace. Where is a namespace or identifier? It's holding the value some location. Now using type function, we can determine what type of data. So it's a integer type. So int is a class, it's an int class. In object oriented term, it's a class and class instance. That we will discuss in object oriented topic more detail. Now say this type argument is variable. The variable it's holding integer, so it's called int type. If I define some another variable, or we can use some value 10.0, this is float type. Now I want to convert. That typecasting concept is typecasting, changing one type to another type. Now I can take this numerical data. Where is integer type of variable? I want to convert to float. So if you want to convert integer type data, if you want to convert to float, we can use argument float as a function. Argument is int variable. So simple. What is the target? The target type is a function. So the target is I want to convert to float, then we can make float as a function. It's an inbuilt function in Python. Argument is your integer variable. It's convert to float. So input is integer, output is float type. Float of where it return will be float type of 0. But this typecasting is only for runtime typecast. It's not modified your address space, not overwriting your existing one. So if it test again type where, it will be integer only. All the typecasting, it's a runtime concept. It will not modify the original structure. So if you want to modify it, then you can initialize to the same variable or different variable. Now this f will different variable means we are creating new address. Now f is a float. So changing one type of data to another type of data, changing one type to another. So the first line I declare the variable value. So the 10 is number, real number, it's integer. So typecasting, a type function displayed what type of data. Now I want to convert to integer to float, then float as a function and input is variable. Like same, I want to convert float to integer. Input is float, just opposite. I want to convert to integer. So we can use int, argument is float variable or float value. It's simple. What is the target? The same target name. So int of f means it will become to be 10. Again, this typecasting is runtime only. It's not modified original. So we can initialize to variable. Now the v will be integer. Like this, for any data, if it is represented in string format, the value is 45. So this is string type of data. String means character, collection of character. So string point of view, the length function says 2. 4 is one character, 5 is another character. Or some value, if we say some value f, so 4.56. Now if you put type followed by f also string type of data. And if we check length function to count the number of character, including dot also character. The string representation is collection of character. Now if you want to convert the string, I want to convert string to integer type. Input integer type. So see that what is the target? Target is integer, then int is a function, argument is integer. The same string I want to convert to float. What is the target? Target is float type. So we can use float is a function, argument is string. F is string. Now this will become to be float. Same, all this typecasting is runtime. So any numerical data, if you want to convert into to float or float to integer, we can use direct typecast. Or string data, string means within the quotes any digits. Any digit is there, that digit if you want to convert to integer or float, we can convert to the target function. But if data, say this, F is quotes 4.56. This is string. We can convert to float directly. Now if you take some value cost, some number followed by some value, this is float value. We can put type cost, it's a float. I want to convert to integer, directly we can convert to integer. But from F, say that above variable, F is string. From 4.56 I want to convert to integer, directly we can't convert to integer. Because dot it's considered like ordinary character behavior, it's not floating decimal. So if I try to convert directly integer type, this will throw the error message. Value error, this is exception. So this int of cost is float, so directly we can convert to integer. But F is not a float type of data, it is string type of data, so we need to convert to float. Then that float you can input to integer. So float of F, that output. So this output you can initialize to integer. Now see this, there are two typecast internal. First inner operation is float. That output is input to integer. Or float of data, we can initialize to local variable. That variable output we can input to V. So this is a way for typecasting one type of data to another type. Okay, now this data, if I say like a cost is some value, I want to convert to integer. This is float type of data. I want to convert to integer, so we can write int of cost. Like this I want to convert to string str of cost, or any number. If you want to convert to integer, if you want to convert to string, you can type str of. So whatever the type function we studied, type with the quotes str, a type followed by some number, a type followed by some decimal value. This inside the quotes is the class name. That class name is a function. It acts as a function like constructor. In OOPS point of view, constructor. So it's the same type. You can use input whatever the type, the output will be string. Input whatever the type, output will be integer. Same input whatever the type, output will be float. So this is a way to changing one type of data to another type of data. Typecasting is useful for our in Python programming. Reading the data from interface, all the data will become to be string. So if any data, if you're typing like some value, if you're getting like this is string type of data. I want to convert to integer, directly we can convert to integer. Or if you want to convert to float, we can convert to float. But actual type is string. Or if you want to write some data, to file, this is float. Float will not allow you to write, so we can typecast to float string. Like this we will use more typecasting in program. Typecasting means changing one type of data to another type. All the typecast will be runtime until assign the value to another variable. Okay, so this is the typecast operations in Python. So recap how to use typecast. What is the target? The target type is act as a function. Okay, input data and you can convert it to the target type view. Okay, so the remaining operations will continue in the next topic. Thank you.